Let's get to it, though. Trump has pled not guilty to 34 felony counts on falsifying business records, including some actually very juicy stuff like another catch and kill story that his doorman was possibly trying to sell to the National Enquirer and numerous other outlets about having a child out of, having an adulterous relationship with a model and having a child, possibly, which is cool. I mean, I think that's a cool story that's like going a little unnoticed. You know, why the fuck is he paying all these people? Why is he doing that?
Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg spoke after the arraignment, saying Trump continuously lied to cover up previous crimes. Scott McFarland was at the courthouse yesterday. He has the details of this historic indictment.
It's not just about one payment. It is 34 false statements in business records that were concealing criminal conduct.
Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg alleged former President Trump falsified business records after planning a catch-and-kill scheme to suppress negative information about him throughout his 2016 presidential campaign. According to Bragg's statement of facts released with the indictment, Trump orchestrated hush money payments beginning in 2015 to 3 individuals. Those payments included $130,000 to former adult film star Stormy Daniels by former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen, $150,000 to former Playboy playmate Karen McDougal, and another $30,000 to a Trump Tower doorman.
The defendant claimed that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. This simply was not true.
The indictment lays out nearly 36 different business records that were allegedly falsified.
The scheme violated New York election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. The $130,000 wire payment exceeded the federal campaign contribution cap, and the false statements in AMI's books violated New York law.
AMI was the publishing company of the National Enquirer. Bragg alleges the head of the tabloid, David Pecker, was a Trump ally who prevented negative stories about the then candidate from getting out.
It's alleged that by trying to hide that campaign violation, that becomes a felony.
Scott Frederickson is a former federal prosecutor in Washington.
If he were convicted, a low-level felony, he certainly would not, in all likelihood, ever go to jail over this. It wouldn't prevent him from running for president or being president, but it is certainly consequential.
Keep in mind, this is just part of Trump's legal troubles. He's facing Department of Justice probes into his connection to the January 6th attack and efforts to overturn the 2020 election, and also an investigation into possible obstruction regarding his handling of sensitive material at Mar-a-Lago. And in Georgia, we're waiting for the district attorney's next move after a special grand jury there looked into whether Trump and his allies tried to overturn that state's election results. John?
Scott, thank you.
On the morning after that historic indictment, Donald Trump is on the attack. We saw this striking image yesterday of the former president surrounded by his lawyers in the courtroom, where he pled not guilty to 34 felony counts. Prosecutors say the allegations are linked to hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels and 2 other people who they say could have damaged Trump's chances in the 2016 election.
If there was any speculation about whether that court appearance would give Donald Trump pause, he put those questions to rest last night. In a defiant speech at Mar-a-Lago, the former president claimed he's a victim and targeted the prosecutor and judge in the case. Major Garrett was at Mar-a-Lago last night and joins us now from West Palm Beach. Major, good morning. What was it like in the room?
Good morning, John. Good morning, everyone. I got to tell you, the atmosphere inside Mar-a-Lago was festive. It seems strange to say, but it was like...
It was festive because the offenses are low level and it's not all that significant, and he will probably, most likely, not go to prison. Okay? That's why he can just have fun with it. That's it. Most people don't think that this is serious. It's understandable that they don't think it's serious. Trump is just basically trying to do everything he can to farm as much money as possible off of this. Nah, throw the book at him 136 years? Yeah, according to Rap TV. If you ask Rap TV, he's going for 136 years. You know, ultimately, none of these guys care about law and order. It's shocking. I know. Everyone's shocked to find out that the Trump supporters are not the law and order party. The Mr. Lock Her Up ass motherfuckers, which wanted to lock Hillary up, which I'm on board with. Again, turns out they're not so fond of locking people up if it's their guy getting locked up. There are now prison abolitionists. They're reading Angela Davis. They're talking about how prisons are actually obsolete. And they're saying crime is not really a crime. That's not that big of a deal. I'm sorry, but if nothing's going to happen, why are we sitting here listening to reporters say the same shit for hours? We could be talking about Tennessee or Florida. I don't know, because we do talk about Tennessee and Florida pretty much every day. And sometimes it's fun to talk about the largest news story that a lot of people are, interested in hearing about. Do you think you are a producer for the show? Is that what you think? Do you think that we should be guiding the content around what you personally want to talk about? Tim Pool, also working with Rap TV. Donald Trump faces 136 years in prison over insane BS charges. Hey, Hasanabi, that chatter doesn't want to talk about it. Maybe we should move on. Yeah. Dude, hey, you cover the news? How about all the news? Why not all the news happening all the time? There was a stabbing that occurred down the street from me, and your silence on the matter is deafening. Okay? Yeah, RIP Cash App. That's not what I was even talking about, but that did happen. So there is that. Anyway, I'm outraged you haven't covered my village mayor race and our one fucking candidate. I know. It's fucked up. Really messed up. Not as messed up as the top of the hour ad break is, obviously. That one is the most messed up thing because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And a lot of your silence on the 3-minute ad break is deafening. But that's probably because you're subscribed. For $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, you get to avoid the top of the hour ad break. Hassan the Hunt is officially a Balkan now for repping the Dua Lipa Balkan t-shirt when he came on the Deprogram pod. Yeah, another victory against the Ottomans. D-Tone says Trump equals best president. Thank you for the $3 donation, D-Tone. That's not his Twitter. Yeah, that's not you, Gobnik. It's someone else. Anyway, Sakura Gore, thank you for the 5 get the subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Adelaide Fair. Thank you, Adelaide Fair, for the 5 gifted subs. Fucking 5 gifted subs from this nutter. You nutter. Yeah, but what about the NC State rep that flipped? Like, bro, look at the fucking screen. Look. I'm mad you're not talking about the NC State representative flip. Here, I'll put your name right on top of it because some of you motherfuckers just want to see yourself on the broadcast the most. Look at what's right on top of that. Do you see that tab? What do you think is in that tab? Do you think I am going to talk about the North Carolina lawmakers switching parties? Look. I'm covering it now. Stop. He'd be real fucking shocked if he could read, okay? There it is. All of that is on the on the agenda.
An indictment party Trump supporters were eager to rally to his defense, seeing him as a kind of political renegade being persecuted for challenging the system. The energy and anticipation in the room were real. And then Trump spoke, and despite the history and the stakes involved, the room fell oddly quiet as the former president read through a laundry list of all too familiar political and legal grievances.
Former President Trump portrayed himself as a victim.
And I never thought anything like this could happen in America.
And the Manhattan District Attorney who indicted...
He's like, dude, rich people, powerful people, people that were presidents, people that help out other rich people going to fucking jail or possibly facing legal scrutiny. I never thought this would ever happen. When I say that, I just mean I never thought this would happen to me. Lock her up, by the way.
Indicted him a tool of, quote, radical left lunatics.
The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it.
Trump said his indictment cast a dark cloud over America.
Virtually everybody.
Like, I can't get over that element. I just cannot get over that element of, like, the party that ran on lock her up. The party that has, like, a genuine constituency that believes that, like, all Democrats are pedophile vampires who were supposed to go to jail under the Trump administration when the storm came. Like, that party is now upset that, like, you know, the justice system is actually coming after them. In the exact same, like, biased political way that they wanted to weaponize it. I can't get over it. I cannot get over it. You had your shot and you missed it, Mr. President. You know, I love you. I think you got a fat dumper. You're a pog. I'm a fan. Okay. But goddamn, like, you fucking had your chance of locking Hillary Clinton up and you missed it.
That has looked at this case, including rhinos and even hardcore Democrats, say there is no crime.
During a nearly half-hour speech peppered with a laundry list of baseless grievances, Trump attacked Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and the judge presiding over his case. Trump's oldest sons posted articles pointing to the judge's daughters work with then-presidential candidate Kamala Harris's campaign.
The criminal is the district attorney. I have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and family.
Trump also said falsely the 2020 election was stolen from him. He characterized other ongoing investigations in Georgia and Washington as led by racists or Trump haters. Trump and the Republican Party he leads have suffered setbacks in 3 consecutive elections, a fact Trump tried to turn on its head.
They can't beat us at the ballot box, so they try and beat us through the law.
I'm here to protest.
On the historic day in Manhattan, more reporters than protesters observed Trump's arrival. Multiple layers of security enveloped Trump's every movement, inside the courtroom, during an hour-long arraignment, and for his departure. Trump, speaking for himself, entered a plea of not guilty to all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. The charges, prosecutors said, arose from a series of hush money payments designed to suppress bad press that might have influenced the 2016.
My favorite is when he says, no other president has gotten as many votes as I have. Like, whenever Trump says no other president has gotten as many votes as I have, I got 75 million votes. I'm like, bro, you're not the president. So clearly somebody got more votes than you. You know what I mean? It's such a weird thing to say when you're running for president. You're currently running for president because you didn't win. You lost to a guy that is now the president. Now, it's funny, it's stupid, but remember, if the audience that's receiving your information is just as stupid or even dumber than you are, then it works. So that's how it's working for him.
presidential campaign. Manhattan District Attorney Bragg.
No matter who you are, we cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
Trump's lawyers said they plan to file a motion to dismiss the case within the next several months.
Well, everyone is not above the law, no one's below it either. And if this man's name was not Donald J. Trump, there is no scenario we'd all be here today.
Trump has leveraged the threat of arrest and the...
Also, yeah. I mean, that's true. That's true because, like, it's one of those instances where the crime is, like, very Trumpian. Right? Other... presidential hopefuls have done similar things and gotten away with it. Part of the reason why Trump hasn't been able to is because he is Trump. Like the way that this conversation is always centered around Trump is so funny because like it is a uniquely Trumpian crime. You know what I mean? Like when Joey Taco Penis comes out and says like, yeah, this could happen to you. If this could happen to Trump, it could happen to you, right? And it's like, no, it can't, because the crime is like incredibly specific. It's incredibly specific. It's so specific that it's like almost entirely specific to Donald Trump, because at least most people would try to avoid getting hit with any kind of like criminal misconduct, because they would cover their tracks adequately. Like even across the board, it's like a crime that only people who are technically running for office could engage in. People who have to also be like pretty wealthy to be able to, not only have sex with porn stars, but then also pay them hush money during the process of an election. And so you've already cut down like 99.9% of the planet that way. But then also on top of that, he took no effort in trying to counter the potential legal implications, the potential legal accountability that might have been brought against him in this process, by very clearly saying, like, pretty much as openly as you can, I am doing this for the election. I want to cover this hush money payment up. After the election, it doesn't matter because it's only for the election. I don't even care if my wife or children know about the porn star thing. I only care about the election. Please make no mistake. This hush money payment that we are basically, hiding as though it's like legal payments to Michael Pence that we're funding through campaign donations is actually for the election. I care only about the election, and that's why I did it. Like, there's no other way that this could have been escalated into a felony charge. But he did it. He found a way. There is enough evidence to trump these otherwise misdemeanor charges to a felony. And I find that really, really wild. Bribery is legal unless you say what it's for. I mean, that's a great example. Bribery is legalized in Western nations in the form of lobbying, in the form of campaign contributions, right? And it's basically like getting arrested for campaign finance violations in a country where you can dump unlimited funds to an individual candidate by way of 501c4 super PACs and the like. It's such an incredibly preventable crime that the federal government and state governments have basically made it legal for you, as long as you file the adequate paperwork, or as long as you don't openly say that you are doing this for a crime. Don Lemon's misogyny at CNN exposed, malicious texts mocking female co-workers and diva-like behavior. Oh, shit. They're coming after him. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. We're going to cover this in a little bit. Don Lemon got in hot water because he said, like, women are no longer viable after the age of, like, 30 or whatever. It was pretty awesome. Anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's continue with this.
Reality of indictment to raise millions in campaign contributions. His campaign sent out several appeals. One offered a T-shirt with a phony mugshot.
The next court hearing is scheduled for December 4th, roughly 2 months before the first Republican Party nominating contest. The Trump campaign said it has raised more than $10 million since the indictment. The former president's next public appearance could be as early as next week when he's scheduled to address the National Rifle Association convention in Indianapolis. Natalie?
All right, Major, thank you.